Hey guys, a while ago I posted a video titled Slice Serve Myths, and in this video there were a lot of comments, and in the comment section people were debating whether pronation creates slice. And in today's video I'm going to give you the answer. I'm not going to make you wait until the end of the video to find out whether pronation creates slice. I'll tell you right away, it absolutely does not. And guys, this is a little bit of a complicated subject because most people are confused about what pronation is in reality. So it doesn't matter what serve I'm doing, whether it's a slice serve like that, or a kick serve like this, or even a flat serve. I am pronating on all these serves, but it's not what you think. I am not necessarily pronating after I make contact. I'm pronating into the contact. And pronation into the contact is a fundamental element of the tennis serve, and you will not find a high-level player who doesn't pronate into the contact. And basically what it is that after we drop the racket's going to come out on this side, and now the racket's going to approach the ball on edge. And obviously we can't hit the ball with the edge of the racket like this. We're going to have to pronate into the contact. And this is the movement of the pronation. It's a very simple process. We are going to high five the contact. When I teach kids, I tell them to high five the contact. Imagine high fiving a giant. This is a very easy mental image to recreate what happens on the tennis serve. Now here's the fascinating thing about the serve, that through my research I was able to establish that elite tennis players will not always continue to pronate. So they're all high-level tennis players will pronate into the contact. We already established that. But only sometimes will high-level players and elite level players, including some of the best servers of all time, pronate after contact, which is basically this. It's a continuing pronation. So the pronation happens into the contact, and then on some serves there will be continuing pronation. And through my extensive research that I conducted prior to starting the Intuitive Tennis YouTube channel, I have collected evidence that the vast majority of WTA players doesn't always continue to pronate. So in other words, they will sometimes continue to pronate on their serves, but sometimes not. In other words, it will go down in this manner. And it's not only the WTA. I was also able to find ATP players of the highest caliber that have the same mechanism on their serves. They will sometimes continue to pronate and sometimes not. Now, to be fair, there's players as well who will always continue to pronate. Players such as John Isner or Roger Federer. I have not found any evidence on their serves where there wasn't continuing pronation, but I would say 95% of players do not always continue to pronate. Now I have the evidence to prove this, but I'm not going to be able to put this evidence in my video because of copyright reasons. So you're just going to have to take my word for it and do your own research. So now that we got pronation out of the way, let's talk about this one theory that states that pronation after contact creates slice, and this is absolutely not true. So let's talk about what a slice serve is. Basically, what I'm trying to do when I'm hitting a slice serve, I'm going to place my toss a little bit closer to 12 o'clock. This is just my personal preference, but generally speaking, especially at the recreational level, it is easier when the toss is a little bit to the right for right-handed players, and here's the reason why. When it comes to the slice serve, we need a more vertical position of the racket face at the moment of contact, and what has to happen next in order for the ball to have slice, that the racket needs to laterally move across the ball. Here, take a look. Here's a ball, and I'm going to laterally go across the ball. You see this? This is slice. See how the ball is spinning in this way? See, hold on, let me grip the ball a little better so you can see it spinning. See, if I laterally go across the ball, see the ball is spinning, and that is exactly the mechanism of slice. So in other words, it absolutely does not matter after the moment of contact what happens to the racket. So even a slice serve with continuing pronation is a perfectly fine serve to execute, but also if you have a serve that doesn't have continuing pronation, as long as you're going laterally across the ball, you will still get slice on your serve. So you have to get the idea out of your head that pronation after contact creates any type of serves, whether it be slice, kick, or flat. It absolutely does nothing to affect the actual serve that you're attempting to do. And if you think about it logically, why would it? So when we make contact with the ball and then continue to pronate after, the ball has already left the racket, and this movement of the racket after contact has absolutely no effect on the ball because the ball has already left the racket prior to that movement. So what you got to focus on your slice is not think about pronation, but actually you should never think about pronation on any of your serves, because pronation is something that will happen naturally if you possess the correct fundamentals and if you possess a lot of acceleration on your serve. Is this easy to accomplish? It is absolutely not. This might take years, or in some cases it might never happen. I'm not going to lie to you. This is a characteristic of a high-level player, and it's not so easy to get to the high level. And that is your only chance to be able to pronate into the contact, and what you're going to have to do is get a lot of reps in and possess the correct fundamentals, and then through patience and resilience, eventually you will be able to pronate into the contact. So when I do my pronation into the contact, I'm absolutely not aware of it because it's happening in milliseconds. I'm going to hit a couple of serves and just think logically of that moment in time when the pronation takes place, and you try to catch it with your naked eye and let me know if you were able to see it. We'll try one more. So if you can't see it, I therefore can't feel it. It's a completely intuitive process that will take care of itself. And what happens after contact is also something that players do not have control over. Whether a serve will have continuing pronation or not is something that I'm still conducting research on. There's several factors that come into play. And I'm going to present all my research on continued pronation when it's ready, but I'll tell you one factor that can impact whether a serve is going to continue to pronate or not, and that is simply where on the string bed a player makes contact. So me as a right-hander, if I make contact slightly off center to the right of my string bed, I'm more likely going to continue to pronate on that serve. And look guys, I understand that a lot of players are fascinated with continuing pronation because it looks really cool in slow motion. Now, a serve that doesn't have continuing pronation doesn't look as aesthetically pleasing as a serve that does have this technical element. I understand that you're trying to accomplish this feat very badly, but I'm here to tell you that if you try to do so, you're going to hurt your serve in a really bad way, because what you're going to be forced to do, whether it be a slice serve or a kick serve or a flat serve, if you try to make pronation after the contact happens, you will be forced to slow down this area of the serve, and you will abruptly stop your service motion looking something like this. And what happens to the serve when that's the case is that you're going to lose a lot of acceleration as a result of it. So what you should do instead is absolutely not worry about pronation. It is something that will happen on its own if you possess the right fundamentals and if you have enough acceleration on your serve. But back to the title of this video, which is, does pronation on the slice create slice? And it obviously does not. But what about this question? Which slice serve is better? One without continuing pronation or one with continuing pronation? Now, I don't want you to misinterpret what I'm about to tell you, because my research has shown that there is some evidence that a slice serve with continuing pronation is a better slice serve than a slice serve without continuing pronation. This seems to be the case, but don't misinterpret this and try to make this continuing pronation happen. Generally, on your serve, if you execute it really well, the chances of getting the continuing pronation to take place are going to be much higher. Now, as you know, on my channel, there are no gimmicks. I tell you exactly how it is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit 5 slice serves, and then we're going to look in slow motion on which one of those I have continued to pronate. If on any, it could easily be that I don't continue to pronate on any of them, but we're going to judge it in post. So you guys can let me know in the comment section whether you think the serve with continuing pronation was better or not, because obviously I have no control over the continuing pronation part of the serve. In fact, I don't even know whether it happened or not. So let me hit these 5 serves and we'll take a look in slow motion afterwards. Oh, no, Nick, come on, man. All right, I think I got 3 out of 4. So last one, I better make this one. Let's curve that ball off the court. Come on. Oh, there we go. That's a nice one. I think that's an ace. Yes. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm absolutely unaware whether I'm pronating into the contact, but most importantly, when it comes to the question, which slice serve is better, one with continuing pronation or one without, it is important to note that I'm absolutely unaware whether a continuing pronation is taking place. This is something that will happen on its own. So the best way to judge a slice serve or any serve for that matter is to go by feel. After hitting a serve, how did it feel? To me, the most important thing that I'm feeling after a good serve is effortlessness, and also I'm looking at the result. I'm looking whether the ball is going to the intended target, or in this case whether the slice serve is curving off the court enough. So let's take a look at the two best serves that I hit, which were slice serve number 1 and slice serve number 5. And slice serve number 1 was executed without continuing pronation, and let's take a look at it. And slice serve number 5 was the only serve that I hit out of these 5 that had continuing pronation. And let's take a look at this one. There we go. There we go. There we go. So if we were to judge these two serves based on their quality, I would say they're pretty even. Both serves were struck really well. Most likely these serves would have resulted in a service winner, or maybe the opponent would have gotten the ball back and I would have had the entire court to work with. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Serve number 5 felt the best by far. This is the serve that felt the most effortless, and I think it also had a little bit more speed than the previous 4 serves. So should you be practicing continuing pronation on your slice serve in order to achieve a better slice? Absolutely not, because what happens with most players when they try to get the ball to go out wide with a slice, for example, the mental image of the racket going towards the right, even though the ball is going to the left, this is something that's very difficult for us to grasp. It doesn't make any sense to us. The ball is going to the left and it's going to curve to the left, and yet the racket is going towards the right side. So it's better not to obsess about this because it gets really confusing. What the direction of the ball depends on is the angle of the racket face at the moment of contact. That's what determines where the ball is going. What happens afterwards doesn't have any effect on the direction of the ball. So in case of the slice serve or any serve for that matter, if you were to practice continuing to pronate towards the right side, if you happen to be right-handed, this is going to be a very difficult thing mentally. It's not going to make any sense to you. What I find with most players, they have a very difficult time getting the ball to the intended target. Most balls will unfortunately have a tendency to go towards the right. And what will happen if you try to practice continuing pronation on your slice serve or any serve for that matter is that you will be forced to slow down the very crucial time frame before the contact and shortly after contact. This is a time span that takes milliseconds. So the only way you will be able to execute these movements at the conscious level would be to slow them down. What naturally will happen to your serve as a result of that is that the serve will be abruptly shortened. Your range of motion will be greatly diminished. Your swing momentum will be reduced and the torso rotation will be interrupted. This is the only way to make continuing pronation happen at the conscious level. So therefore, when it comes to the slice serve, even though a slice with continuing pronation may be the optimal way to strike a slice serve, you still shouldn't try to practice it. And what you have to do is just be resilient, patient, execute all the serve fundamentals correctly, and there's a good chance that you will continue to pronate on your slice. Also, what you have to do as a tennis player, this is not just for the serve but for any stroke, is you go by feel and you base the way a stroke feels on the result. So if a serve feels good and you have the result that you wanted, in other words, the serve is going with the proper speed and the proper trajectory and it's going to the intended target, then that's a feeling that you should try to recreate over and over again, and that's how you develop the proper muscle memory. So what you have to do on your slice is, number 1, execute the slice fundamentals properly. If you want to know in great detail how to hit a slice serve, you can check out my video on that topic. The most important tip that I can give you when it comes to the slice is concern yourself with the finish. When you finish the slice serve properly, there's more of a likelihood that you will have a lateral swing path on your serve because of the intended finish, and you will indeed get slice on your serve. Whether this slice is going to be executed with continuing pronation, that's a very complicated subject. Generally, if you strike your slice serve well, or any serve for that matter, continuing pronation is a natural result of a perfectly executed serve.